a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Brian May. Brian Harold May is an English musician, singer, songwriter, astrophysicist, and photographer. He is best known as the lead guitarist of the rock band Queen. He uses a Holmes-built electric guitar called the Red Special. His compositions for the band include We Will Rock You, Tie Your Mother Down, I Want It All, Fat Bottomed Girls, Flash, Hammer to Fall, Save Me, Who Wants to Live Forever, and The Show Must Go On. May was a co-founder of Queen with lead singer Freddie Mercury and drummer Roger Taylor, having previously performed with Taylor in the band Smile, which he had joined while he was at university. Within 5 years of their formation in 1970 and the recruitment of bass player John Deacon completing the lineup, Queen had become established as one of the biggest rock bands in the world with the success of the album A Night at the Opera and its single, Bohemian Rhapsody. From the mid-1970s until the early 1990s, Queen were an almost constant presence in the UK charts, and played some of the biggest venues in the world, most notably giving an acclaimed performance at Live Aid in 1985. As a member of Queen, May became regarded as a virtuoso musician, and he was identified with a distinctive sound created through his layered guitar work. Following the death of Mercury in 1991, Queen were put on hiatus for several years, but were eventually reconvened by May and Taylor for further performances featuring other vocalists. In 2005, a Planet Rock poll saw May voted the 7th greatest guitarist of all time. He was ranked at number 26 on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 100 greatest guitarists of all time. In 2012, May was ranked the 2nd greatest guitarist of all time by a Guitar World magazine readers' poll. May was appointed a Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire in 2005 for services to the music industry and for charity work. May was awarded a PhD in astrophysics from Imperial College London in 2007 and was Chancellor of Liverpool John Moores University from 2008 to 2013. He was a science team collaborator with NASA's New Horizons Pluto mission. He is also a co-founder of the awareness campaign, Asteroid Day, Asteroid 52665. Brian May was named after him. May is also an animal rights activist, campaigning against the hunting of foxes and the culling of badgers in the UK. Early life. Brian Harold May was born in Hampton, Middlesex on the 19th of July 1947, the only child of Ruth and Harold May, who worked as a draftsman at the Ministry of Aviation. His mother was Scottish, while his father was English. May attended the local Hampton Grammar School, then a voluntary aided school. During this time, he formed his first band, named 1984 after George Orwell's novel of the same name, with vocalist and bassist Tim Starfill. At Hampton Grammar School, he attained 10 GCE ordinary levels and 3 GCE advanced levels in physics, mathematics, and applied mathematics. He studied mathematics and physics at Imperial College London, graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in physics in 1968 with honours. In 2007, May was awarded a PhD in astrophysics from Imperial College London for work started in 1971 and completed in 2007. 1968-1970, Smile. May formed the band Smile in 1968. The group included Tim Starfill as the lead singer and bassist, and later, drummer Roger Taylor, who also went on to play for Queen. The band lasted for only 2 years, from 1968 to 1970, as Starfill departed in 1970, leaving the band with a catalogue of 9 songs. Smile would reunite for several songs on the 22nd of December 1992. Taylor's band The Cross were headliners, and he brought May and Starfill on to play Earth and If I Were a Carpenter. May also performed several other songs that night. 1970 present. Queen. In Queen's 3-part vocal harmonies, May was generally the low-range backing vocalist. On some of his songs, he sings the lead vocals, most notably the first verse of Who Wants to Live Forever, the final verse of Mother Love, the middle 8 on I Want It All, and Flash's theme, and full lead vocals on Someday One Day, She Makes Me, 39, Good Company, Long Away, All Dead, Sleeping on the Sidewalk, Leaving Home Ain't Easy, and Sail Away Sweet Sister. Throughout Queen's career, May frequently wrote songs for the band and has composed many worldwide hits such as We Will Rock You, Tie Your Mother Down, I Want It All, Fat Bottomed Girls, Who Wants to Live Forever, and The Show Must Go On, as well as writing significant hit songs, Hammer to Fall, Flash, Now I'm Here, Brighton Rock, The Prophets Song, Las Palabras de Amor, No One But You, and Save Me. Typically, either Mercury or May wrote the most songs on every Queen album. After the famous Live Aid concert in 1985, Mercury rang his band members and proposed writing a song together. The result was One Vision, which was basically May on music, and the lyrics were co-written by all four band members. For their 1989 release album, The Miracle, the band had decided that all of the tracks would be credited to the entire band, no matter who had been the main writer. Still, interviews and musical analyses tend to help identify the input of each member on each track. May composed I Want It All for that album, as well as Scandal. For the rest of the album he did not contribute so much creatively, although he helped in building the basis of Party and Was It All Worth It, and created the guitar riff of Chinese Torture. Queen's subsequent album was Innuendo, on which May's contributions increased, although more in arrangements than actual writing in most cases. For the title track he did some of the arrangement for the heavy solo, then he added vocal harmonies to I'm Going Slightly Mad, and composed the solo of These Are the Days of Our Lives, a song for which the four of them decided the keyboard parts together. He changed the tempo and key of Mercury's song, The Hitman, and took it under his wing, even singing guide vocal in the demo. May also co-wrote some of the guitar lines in Bijou, two songs that May had composed for his first solo album, Headlong, and I Can't Live With You, eventually ended up in a Queen project. His other composition was The Show Must Go On, a group effort in which he was the coordinator and primary composer, but in which they all had input, Deacon and Taylor, with the famous chord sequence. In recent years, he has supervised the remastering of Queen albums and various DVD and greatest hits releases. In 2004, he announced that he and drummer Roger Taylor were going on tour for the first time in 18 years as Queen, along with Free/Bad Company vocalist Paul Rodgers. Billed as Queen plus Paul Rodgers, the band played throughout 2005 and 2006 in South Africa, Europe, Aruba, Japan, and North America, and released a new album with Paul Rodgers in 2008, entitled The Cosmos Rocks. This album was supported by a major tour. Paul Rodgers then left the band in May 2009, and it wasn't until 2011 that another vocalist, Adam Lambert, was recruited. They subsequently went on a 2012 European tour, a world tour over 2014 and 2015, and, most recently, 2016 festival tour. They also played the Big Ben New Year concert on New Year's Eve 2014 and New Year's Day 2015. 1983, 1998, Side Projects and Solo Works. During 1983, several members of Queen explored side projects. On 21 and the 22nd of April in Los Angeles, May was in the studio with Eddie Van Halen, with no intentions of recording anything. The result of those days was a mini-album entitled Starfleet Project, which originally wasn't going to be released. May contributed to former Genesis guitarist Steve Hackett's album Feedback 86, playing guitar on the track Cassandra, and providing guitar and vocals for Slot Machine, which was co-written by May. Although produced in 1986, the album was not issued as a commercial release until 2000. May worked with his second wife Anita Dobson on her first album, in which she sang vocals to the EastEnders theme tune. In this form, the tune became the song, Anyone Can Fall in Love. May produced the song, which reached number 4 in the UK singles chart in August 1986. In 1989, May contributed guitar solos to the song, When Death Calls, on Black Sabbath's 14th album Headless Cross, and the Living in a Box track, Blow the House Down, from the album Gatecrashing. In the aftermath of the November 1991 death of Freddie Mercury, May chose to deal with his grief by committing himself as fully as possible to work, first by finishing his solo album, Back to the Light, and then touring worldwide to promote it. He frequently remarked in press interviews that this was the only form of self-prescribed therapy he could think of. According to Def Leppard lead singer Joe Elliott, it was undoubtedly an enormous and terrible blow to lose someone he was so close to. Personally, I know it ripped the heart out of Brian, but having said that, he was in great spirits after the album was finished. In late 1992, the Brian May Band was officially formed. An earlier version of the band was loosely formed for the 19th of October 1991. The date of the band's last concert of reunion, when May took part in the Guitar Legends Guitar Festival in Seville, Spain. The lineup for his performance was May on vocals and lead guitar, Cozy Powell on drums and percussion, Mike Moran and Rick Wakeman on keyboards, and Maggie Ryder, Miriam Stockley and Chris Thompson on backing vocals. The original lineup was May on vocals and lead guitar, Powell on drums and percussion, Michael Caswell on guitar, Neil Murray on bass, and Ryder, Stockley and Thompson on backing vocals. This version of the band lasted only during the South American support tour on only 5 dates. Afterwards, May made significant changes, feeling the group never quite gelled. May brought guitarist Jamie Moses on board to replace Mike Caswell. The other change made was in the backing vocals department, when Ryder, Stockley and Thompson were replaced with Catherine Porter and Shelley Preston. On the 23rd of February 1993, this new lineup of the Brian May Band began its world tour in the US, both supporting Guns N' Roses and headlining a few dates. The tour would take them through North America, Europe, and Japan. After the tour ended on the 18th of December 1993, May returned to the studio with fellow surviving Queen band members Roger Taylor and John Deacon to work on tracks that became Made in Heaven, the final Queen studio album. The band took Mercury's solo album demos and last recordings, which he managed to perform in the studio after the album Innuendo was finished, and completed them with their additions both musically and vocally. Work on the album after Mercury's death originally began in 1992 by Deacon and May, but was left until a later date, due to other commitments. In 1995, May began working towards a new solo album of covers tentatively named Heroes, in addition to working on various film and television projects and other collaborations. May subsequently changed the approach from covers to focus on those collaborations and on new material. The songs included Another World, and featured mainly Spike Hedney, Cozy Powell, Neil Murray, and Jamie Moses. On the 5th of April 1998, Cozy Powell was killed in a car accident on the M4 motorway near Bristol, England. This caused a huge, unexpected disruption to the upcoming tour for the Brian May Band, with a new drummer being needed at short notice. Steve Ferrone was brought on to help May finish recording drums and to join the band for the early-stage promotional tour of 5 dates in Europe before the world tour. Following the early promotional tour, Eric Singer replaced Steve Ferrone for the full 1998 world tour. The 1998 tour saw the brief introduction of a support act known as T.E. Conway. Conway would play a number of 1950s rock and roll standards prior to May's arrival. A bonus T.E. Conway EP entitled Retro Rock Special was attached to some pressings of the Another World album. The Conway character was retired at the end of the tour. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?